Sorry about that. Lost control of the camera. Uh, so we're gonna drive down the road, see what we get out of that. I might wind up getting a double cogging dry shaft for the back, or have one made. There's a place here in town. It's the only place around nearby, and they're kind of pricey, but I guess they got the market so they could do it. But they are really good, and I might wind up doing a double cogging on that. The front dry shaft, the angle is way off. Obviously, you can see that the way that is and the way this is, but it does have double cogging on it, and that'll eliminate any kind of vibration. The phasing on this one was off also, and as you can see, looks like to me they extended this front dry shaft too. I'm hoping it's in balance. It's got weights on there, so I'm hoping, that it is in balance. Uh, Here, there is a very little bit of space between the U joints and this cross member. Um, what I probably wind up doing is running me a plate across the bottom and weld it up or bolt it up. I'm not sure, or a little of both, tack welds and then also bolts, and notch this center hump out for that. So this way, when I go up and down, I know I'm not going to hit that, because I believe it was hitting before, um, and now it's not. So with that being said, I still want to be on the safe side with that. My transmission leak, it's still leaking. Uh, I found two places on the transmission that's leaking. They put this chrome tube in here, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but they gooped it up, and I don't know if this camera's going to pick that up because it's dark. But it's also the pan gasket that's leaking. So that's no big deal. I mean, that's something I'm hoping this chrome tubing here, I'll be able to pull that out, clean all that crap up. Hopefully they didn't use JB Weld or some stupid shit like that. And clean all that up and, get it right. Uh, the reason why I didn't mess with raising this up or lowering it down or angling it slightly different, for the simple fact that the rear is your main drive, two-wheel drive going down the road, and that is actually angled right. And in the front, like I said, it's got the double cogging, so that'll eliminate any kind of stress, strain, vibration, or anything of that to this U joint up front. I got my caster back on this where my dry shaft or my differential is laid out right. I got my leaf springs down on my axle instead of up on blocks. So all that's good shape. I did lower the rear down from the 3-inch blocks to the 2-inch blocks, and I also did use a 2-degree wedge in there to get the angle that I needed to match the front. And like I said, hopefully going down the road, I ain't gonna feel nothing. Hopefully I won't eat up U joints. It's just gonna be a trial and error on that. The fuel filter, or the fuel neck here, I still got to get my hose to run up. It's going to run from here and then up on an angle to here. Basically, it's 2 feet. I just need something with a 90-degree bend. So when I come down on the angle, the 90-degree bend to go right into the filler neck of the fuel tank. That's no big deal. The back bumper, I decided to keep it the way it is. I might do a little extra stuff on it. One of these plates, I think it's this one. No, it's this one here. It's loose. It comes up and down. I'll have to tack that back in. Buddy of mine works for the military, or is in the military, should I say. and he's going to see what he can do in a couple of jerry cans for me. He don't know if he can get them or not. And that's pretty well wrapped up as far as what I've got done. The next thing I'm going to do is these seats. I've got that one just sitting in there. It's actually laid lower because they raised this up with some blocks, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this stuff, with some blocks there, and they welded it down. I got to get rid of that. And they did the same thing here, and they did not put one in the back corner, and you know, my seat flops around. I do like the height of this, so I'll probably use some round instead of square, or even just use a square. But I'm going to use them as spacers and then run bolts through there. This way, if I needed to unbolt the seat, I can unbolt the seat. And of course, you know, I'll do all 4 corners, not 3. And I'll do the same thing to that one to match the height with this. And we should be in good shape on that. These seats, they look rough, but they're actually in good shape. There's no rips, no tears, and they're fairly comfortable. I don't know what the hell they came out of, but you know, they're comfortable. The center here, like I said, the lighting in here, you probably ain't gonna see too much. The center here, I did buy a plate for that. Of course, it's really thin, but the thinner the plate, the harder it is to shape and mold. So I'm hoping I'll be able to actually shape this on that, because it's got a little slight curve to it, and actually, you know, cover that up to where it looks all right. The shifter, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I really don't want this speed shifter in here. Really don't even want the automatic transmission. I want a standard. A buddy of mine owns a transmission shop. He likes the automatics. He likes working on the automatics. I'm hoping maybe we could work out some type of deal, because this is a 350 turbo, which is a good transmission, automatic transmission for this setup. But I'd much rather have a manual. And I got my pedal here. So as far as the pedal assembly, that's fine. And then, of course, I'll have to, you know, rig up my linkage and all that. I'm hoping, you know, I'll be able to do that. Here's part of my linkage right here. If not, then, you know, I guess I'll just stick with the 350 turbo. But somewhere down the road, I'd like to make it a standard. The engine, I really haven't done nothing to it yet. As you can see, I took the exhaust out because it was in the way of doing the shackles and all that. I did break off one of the bolts to the header where the exhaust bolts up to. I have to get that out. And I will wind up probably just taking this down to the muffler shop down the road. They're really good guys. They're really reasonable. And I haven't decided whether to come out to here in front of the tire with the pipes, or just go straight back. I'm not 100% sure on what I want to do there on that. Obviously, the shorter it is, the less pipe I use, the cheaper it's going to be. But I don't want to go to the point where this thing is just screaming and going down the road, loud exhaust and all that crap. I want it to purr. You know, it's a Chevrolet. So we'll see what happens on that. Let's see. Anything else have I done to this thing from the last time? I don't believe I have. Don't look like I did much, but I tell you what, that rewiring this whole entire thing, that took a little bit of my time. One, kept running out of wire. I had to go buy more. A lot of my connectors, you know, I had to go buy more. But everything's hooked up on toggle switches. All the gauges work accurately. Wipers work. Of course, wipers, I got it wired up to where they're on high, not low. I could have put a 3-stage toggle switch in there, but I decided not to. I just decided hooking them up on high. As many Jeeps as I've had, I've always ran the wipers on high anyway, even when it was raining. I guess because it's such a little blade or whatever. I'm not sure, but like I said, I ain't did nothing to the engine yet other than the wiring in there, and I got to wire loom it all up. Other than that, it's pretty much about it. Yes, there's a wet spot down there because my steering box is leaking, and I got to investigate where it's leaking at. I believe here, and it only leaks when it's running, so it could be possibly the pressure line, or it could be here, where the return line is. Looks like to me they got a piece of pipe or something in here, and then I don't know, but we got to figure it out. So it leaks power steering fluid there. Other than that, that's about as far as I got with it, between time and money, because, like I said, I'm buying this house, and my money's going in it first. The house is more important than this. But whenever I get a chance, I do work on this. There is going to be a few other different things on here, like the front bumper. Pull this out. I'm going to come down with a piece on a slight angle, just a little bit here. I don't know, probably about 3 inches or so, and just from here to here, and then come down on the slight angle to kind of dress it up. Little finishing touches. You see how that's curved. I probably wind up curving that too, just to kind of match it up. And like I said, cut that off about here and cap it. I still got to look at that brake because it still wants to grab. When I was riding around the yard, it wasn't terribly too bad, so it's possible it just could be a lot of mud and gump in there, and that's just a matter of taking it apart, re-lubricate it, put it all back together, maybe even bleed out the brakes, because I don't even know if the back brakes are actually even working. I do know they are hooked up, but that's about it. Haven't done too much more. The biggest expense is the tires. I did get lucky, and I found a website that I can get tires from that are the cheapest that I have found. Just to replace these tires, to do all 4 of them, I'm looking at about $1,200. And that's the more you buy, the cheaper it gets. And then, of course, I'll have them sent business. This way I ain't got to worry about tire freight. So as far as that goes, that's that. I don't know if I'm going to go with these TSLs again. I have ran them on other vehicles. They are a good tire. If you groove sips in them, they're pretty good in the rain. They suck in the snow. I am looking at boggers, which boggers have more tread depth than the TSLs do, and you can cut and groove them too. A lot of people do it. I think what I might do is just cut sips in them for the rain and the boggers. If I want to go on the boggers are for 4 of them. I'm wanting to say it was around there 14, somewhere around there, $1,300-$1,400. So, that's a big expense, and that's money that has to be banked because I'm a working man. I really need to clean up this freaking shop. It's pitiful. It is pitiful. I've got a mess everywhere. I just picked up some scrap lumber from my work, which is covered in snow because the day before it snowed, it was like 70 degrees out. Next day it snows. That's Tennessee weather. And kind of letting this melt down a little bit before I actually bring it in. But all it is just chunk old hardwood to burn in my homemade fire. place there and keep your garage warm when I'm in here. Another thing I need to do is actually start looking at these doors, which I might do that today. Crank these windows up, make sure they're still there, if they even in there, and lubricate them and get it working for when I get ready to do the top and all that. This way I have something. But other than that, you know, I mean, it's slowly getting there, just not as fast as I really want it to. So, but I'm happy with it. Oh, new thing. I did pick up, well, I'm going to pick up here in April a 75, I believe it was. I'm not 100% sure on the year. 75 CJ7, and it's got the V8 in it, AMC V8. The body looks pretty good. I think it has a dent or two in the hood. Got aftermarket rims on there. I don't even know what they were. I don't even really remember. The guy sent me some pictures. It's a 3-speed transmission. The engine did run. It's been sitting in a barn for 5 to 7 years. They got it running and took it out there in the farm field and blew the rear in it. Well, it's been sitting in the barn for 5 or 7 years since. And I think 5 years is what he said. I'm picking it up for $500. So I'll have me another Jeep project. Of course, that one there is all Jeep. This one here is Chevrolet and Jeep. My intentions are, and I don't know if I'll do it, but to fix the 75 or 76, I don't remember what year, fix that up and keep it all Jeep and use it to haul this wherever I want to go play. So it will be a Jeep pulling a Jeep, you know, toy. So stay tuned and we'll see what else we got covered up here. Talk to y'all later. Bye.